Hey everyone, Merry Christmas and welcome to another C-Dub Films video. In today's video, we are going to be looking at how we made our short film, Fear of the Dark. The point of this video is to help you in your process of making your own short film, through scripting, to storyboarding, to the process of pre-production, to the actual film set, how to find your location, all of that stuff. Now, let's get into the video. Now, the very first step, of course, in all filmmaking is coming up with a film that you want to create. For us, it was approaching Halloween, so we wanted to get something a little scary. So, in mid to late September, we tried to come up with an idea for a film. Now, this wasn't our first scary film. The Shadow was our first, though it wasn't the best, but we wanted to come up with something a little different, something more unique, something better. So, that's where I got the idea for Fear of the Dark. Now, in The Shadow, you had no connection to the main character. The kid was just some kid, and that's all. There was no connection, no sympathy for his death scene, spoiler alert. And that's not how I wanted this next film to go. I wanted you to feel something. Every time the character was in danger, I wanted you to get scared too. So, we came up with a story arc for each character, that the kid that was house sitting the house that was haunted by this unknown creature was just trying to house it to get some money for his family that was in need. So it made you feel more for him, more sympathy. And his friend, David, which by the way, whoever played David, he's a great actor. I'm well aware that was me. But he was just trying to help his friend. He was just being a good friend. So you really felt more for these characters than you did in The Shadow. And that's one of the main things. You always have to make sure that your audience will feel for your characters. Whether you make them love them so much you don't want them to die, or you're writing a villain that you want the audience to hate so much you want them to die. Now, first we had to go with the name. We didn't know what the name was going to be, so I came up with two. The Silhouette and Fear of the Dark. Fear of the Dark won that. The Silhouette was just based on the look of the creature in the film. Fear of the Dark, I like Iron Maiden. I'm not kidding. I love metal music, and I was listening to that song. I'm like, that's good film title right there. I'm not joking. I'm not kidding. But now we had a name, we had a general story idea, so it's time to get scripting. And scripting is obviously one of the most important parts. You had to write everything. You had to write what the character's gonna say, the whole story in detail, all of it. So that's what I did for a few weeks, up until October 1st. Now, this is where nowadays, I'm learned a lot since the 3 months. We didn't storyboard at all for Fear of the Dark. And that's just one of the problems that we came along when filming, which one of our next videos is gonna be about preparing for your short film and how to not go into the same mistakes that we did when filming Fear of the Dark, which we ran into many. So that's one of the things we ran into. Is I didn't storyboard. I thought just the script was enough. So that was it. We had the script, and then it was time to get the costumes. And on the way to hang out with a friend on his birthday, we had to stop somewhere to get him a birthday present. And while I was there, because it was on Halloween, they had some masks. And I saw this. This is the mask that we used in Fear the Dark, and that you could not see out of at all, as you saw in the behind the scenes of the film. When wearing this costume, because I did and Alex did, we could not see a thing. It was very difficult to see. And for the just other part, the robes he was wearing, you had this costume, which, as you can see, we put over our face like this and then put the mask over it. That's why we couldn't see. This is very old. It was made around the 90s, so fit the vibe. Very old, very good. So we had the costumes, we had the story, and now it was time to step into pre-production, which at least I did some of, which I still should have done storyboarding, but I didn't. But pre-production. Fear of the Dark's pre-production was pretty basic. We knew that the film was gonna take place in the dark, most of the time. So we needed to get some lights, and I didn't have any. So what I did is while I was at the same store that I bought the Halloween mask at, I got some lights, which this is one I got. A lot of different colors, but we mainly used this one for some extra moonlight on the face of our characters and closer shots, and to keep the noise grain away as best as we could, which is very difficult filming in the dark. But also, I picked up this light from Amazon, because I needed it quick, and it has multiple different colors, which we definitely use, especially during the promo shots in our Discord for the film. So yeah, it was great. But other than that, the pre-production, not much else happened, and it was time to get to filming. Now, I'm not gonna run into all the problems that we ran into while filming, but I will have to say this because it's pretty important. We had to use a car for the entire opening scene, which was very difficult to film because we only had 10 minutes to film inside the car. So we had to rush pretty quickly and get out of the car as quick as possible because we had to film all the scenes in the car then and there. No going back. It was very difficult. We actually had to cut half the script. Half the film actually is improv. Half the script we had to cut. And I'm gonna go into that more in detail in the next video where I'm gonna explain all of that and how to dodge the stuff that we ran into, all the mistakes that we did. But when filming Fear the Dark, once we were done with the car scene, which was filmed outside, green screen, behind the window, that was it for that car scene. And we had to come inside to finish the rest, which was very late at night, actually. We filmed very late. It was like 3 a.m. when we were done, or 4. I think it was 4 a.m. actually. It was 4 a.m. when we finished the film. And we started filming at 10, so it took a few hours. But we eventually got done. It was very late, so I didn't start editing until the next day. And it took about 4 days to edit. It kind of slowed, I kind of got done a little quicker, except I had to travel to St. Louis, which is really far, and I had to schedule the editing around all the traveling and all the prep to travel and when I was just there in general. So it took about 4 to 5 days to finish editing, and when it was done, I got it ready. I got the soundtrack finished, which I composed, and we decided we were gonna post on Halloween, so that's when it posted. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope it helped you understand how our process of filmmaking goes. Now, with this film, we ran into a lot of things, a lot of setbacks, we did a lot of mistakes. So it's really the next video that's kind of the sequel to this one, how to dodge all the mistakes that we ran into. And we ran into a lot, to say the least. So if you all enjoyed this, kind of like a behind the scenes type of thing, how we filmed it, how we created this film, but that's it, y'all. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.